Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to Ted Investigates. We are going to be talking about the second monster, Kegan Kline. Today is going to be an extremely long show. I know I meant to have it at 12 Central, but I wanted to get it um, underway a little bit sooner. Still fighting that cold, but this is Kegan Kline, obviously the monster, the second monster with Ron Logan, the one that was with in the jail with Reese Davis, and they were discussing those types of things. So we're going to go over the police affidavit right now. 1 second, I'll get the screen so I can read it. Okay, we're going to go out. It's good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I know it's early. Okay. So, state of Indiana versus county of Miami. Trooper David R. Vito. And we know Vito, right? We know kind of the corruption behind that guy. Of the state, Indiana State Police Department was interviewing. The undersigned says on February 25th, 2017, the Indiana State Police and the Federal Bureau of Investigation executed a search warrant at Kegan Anthony Kline's house while working the ISP case. The FBI sent information to the ISP Cybercrimes Unit that an adult male was soliciting female juveniles. Good morning, everyone. Utilizing the social media platforms Snapchat and Instagram. The adult male was using the username Anthony Shots, which we all know was a model, right? He was taking a person in catfishing. Subpoenas were sent to Instagram and Snapchat. So what he would do is he would bring people from Instagram, right? Catfish the minors, and then because Snapchat is able to delete images, he was able then to shift you. So catfish you with Anthony Shots on Instagram, then move you over to Snapchat and then share illicit photos. So the Instagram and Snapchat returns provided Comcast IP addresses. A subpoena was sent to Comcast for the IP addresses associated with Anthony Shots' account. And good morning, Fig. And they returned in Peru, Indiana. The Instagram subpoena advised the Anthony Shots account was registered on 7/20 of 2016, and the Snapchat return advised the account was registered on 7/14 of 2016. On February 25th at 2017 at approximately 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the search warrant was executed on the residence by ISP, FBI, and the Peru Police Department, and his son, Kegan Anthony Kline, were located in the residence. At approximately 12:35, and many of you may have already seen this. I just wanted to recap some of this. At approximately 12:35 Eastern Time, was interviewed by ISP Sergeant Kunstek and FBI Special Agent Wilmama Man was read his rights and agreed to speak with investigators, confirmed they had Comcast as their internet provider and it was a secure network, told investigators that Kegan did use Instagram and Snapchat. At approximately 1:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Kegan was interviewed by Indiana State Police and FBI Special Agent. Kegan read his rights and agreed to speak with investigators during Kegan's interview. He initially denied creating fake social media accounts. Okay, so now we have a denial. Okay, and talking to underage girls. Okay, so the coincidence of him talking to these girls on that same exact date and being in the Reese files, if you listen to the case by case document, and that's kind of what we're going to summarize later on in this podcast. Kegan told investigators he created the accounts approximately 6 months ago. Kegan stated he talks to girls he knows personally. The girls he doesn't know personally, Kegan stated he meets girls on Instagram. He said he knew the age of the girls he communicates with because he talks to them. Kegan stated if a girl told him she was 16 or under, he wouldn't care and would still talk to them. Okay. Next slide. So basically, he finds the girls on Instagram. and then switches them over to Snapchats because those photos disappear. Okay. Kegan admitted to speaking to approximately 15 girls that were underage and advised he probably received pictures from every one of them. He advised he saved their pictures to his gallery. During his interview, Kegan stated he was effed and he should have left. Kegan advised he packed another bag and took it to Vegas, and Kegan returned from Vegas on February 25th, 2017. He stated he was going to leave when his dad was asleep. Kegan told investigators the main phone he uses was an iPhone 5C. After Kegan's interview, he was polygraphed at the Peru State Police Post by Sergeant Matthew Collins. Kegan and Sergeant Collins spoke about the incident and case. Kegan again admitted to creating the fake Anthony Schott profile, the really good-looking young, like male model person, and speaking to underage girls. Kegan told Sergeant Collins the girls ranged from 15 to 17 years old, and he knew their ages because they told him how old they were. Kegan stated he received approximately 100 sexual pictures from underage girls. Okay. Kegan described sexual pictures of, which I can't say, a bunch of private parts. Kegan also advised he received approximately 20 videos of underage girls doing various things. Kegan stated he would, which I can't say, to the pictures and videos, and I think you get the hint. He also communicated this to the girls who were sending the pictures and videos. Kegan's polygraph questions were based on case. Kegan's polygraph was concluded at approximately at 7:30 p.m., and he was transported back to his residence. The undersigned has watched the interview and polygraph recordings of Kegan. Thank you, Fig. Thanks so much. Multiple electronic devices were seized during the warrant, including Apple iPhone 4, Apple iPhone 3, a Samsung Galaxy S5, Samsung Galaxy S4, Nextbook tablet, and Apple iTouch. On February 27, 2017, Kegan contacted ISP Crimes Unit and told them he located his Apple iPhone 5C that wasn't taken during the warrant. On March 2nd, 2017, the unit obtained the iPhone 5C from the ISP post. Okay, so within 12 days of Abby and Libby being killed, there's no DNA that linked this guy, but they went right to his house and wanted a polygraph test. They went right to his house to find out about this guy. The coincidences of him actually talking to these girls the day of the killings is very, very fishy. The likelihood of him either, and I'm going to be reading the part with Reese Davis, the confessional with Ron Logan, and also Kegan Kline. We're going to be summarizing it because I can't read it word for word because of copyright stuff, but it's by case. Part 2 on her YouTube video. She does an amazing job. So anyways, I'm going to keep reading here. Okay. On April 24, 2024, I was assigned as the lead investigator for the case. On Friday, June 12th, I received the digital forensic examination, ISP Sergeant Chris Cecil. I reviewed the information, and below is a summary for the examination. Okay, we're going to kind of go through this. I need to figure out how to hide the chat. I'm sorry, guys. It's like blocking my view. 1 second. I don't think that worked. 1 second. I'm so bad with technology. Once we have this producer who's supposed to be helping me, okay, I'm going to, I think the comments should still be there. They're just not going to be on the screen as I read for a little bit because I can't see what I'm reading. Okay, 1 second. How do we get this closer? Okay. iPhone Apple 4. This phone was named Kegan's iPhone and the last utilized on approximately November 11, 2016. So big deal. So this was one of his iPhone 4s. Kegan would have been 22 years old at the time. Access to the phone was protected with a PIN code. There are numerous usernames. The user of this device communicated with female teens and shared multiple CSAM files. For those that don't know what CSAM means, that's what YouTube wants us to say. It's a child sex abuse material. So that's what CSAM is. The user also portrayed themselves as a female teen using the name Emily Ann. So a lot of this search warrant, there's a lot of back and forth with Emily Ann 45 that's been redacted that I've left out because it's just pages and pages of redactions. And it was just basically like Instagram direct messaging text. And it was before the Delphi incident. So it's basically just painting a picture of who this guy was. Just a complete felon, a complete predator. Many of the communications were recovered from the Messenger and Snapchat. Media artifacts were also found on the device. There were multiple CSAM and erotic media files, which the user saved to the device, shared and received. There were CSAM files that depicted female children, approximately 12 to 17 years old, posting, illicit pictures, which I can't describe here. There are files located depict children of ages 3 and 11. I mean, this is just as bad as they come here. Let me get to the next slide. Or maybe not. Yep, next slide. Okay, so I basically broke this up because I wanted to go to more of the important things. The key was this Apple iPhone 5C. This phone was Kegan's phone and was the phone he turned in to Indiana State Police. The phone was last utilized on approximately 2/27 of 2017. Kegan would have been 22 years old at the time. This device was secured with a PIN code. There were numerous usernames and email address on this device, including the user of this device used Facebook, Instagram, MeetMe, Snapchat, and Twitter, to communicate. Much of the data from these applications was deleted from the device. The examination found multiple still images saved to the device that depicted females posing blank, nude, and clothed. I don't know what you can say on YouTube, so that's why I'm just skipping over it. But I think you get the point here. At approximately February 27th, 2017, at 9:48 hours, the user cleared and deleted the Safari web browser history data from this device. During the examination, some information was recovered. Below is a sample of what the user searched. It's been redacted. Okay, so while looking over the digital forensic examination report, I noticed the user of the Apple iPhone 5 deleted multiple items off the phone before turning it in to law enforcement. On February 25th, 2017, the search warrant was served on Kline's residence. Okay, so just think, 12 days after the murder, the FBI, the ISPs are already going after this guy's house. Okay, so without DNA. So they must think there's something up with this guy. There's something that has him in the middle of this. You don't go after somebody 12 days that fast. Okay. On February 25th. And we're also going to be going over a lot of the things he shared with Reese and about Ron. So this is all going to tie together perfectly. But I want to go over the facts from the actual evidence first, from the FBI and from the State Department, and then I want to go into the actual summary of what Reese Davis said about Ron Logan and the Kegan Kline connection and the CSAM. Okay, so on February 2017, at approximately 7:30 p.m., Kegan's polygraph was concluded and he was transported back to his residence. The digital forensic examination report shows at approximately 9:09 p.m., the user of the iPhone 5C started to uninstall and delete apps from the phone. At approximately 9:19 p.m., the user uninstalled and deleted Snapchat. At approximately 10:14 p.m., the user uninstalled and deleted Instagram from the phone. On February 26, 2017, at approximately 1:12 p.m., the user uninstalled and deleted MeetMe from the phone. The user put Snapchat chat back on the device. On February 27th, 2017 at approximately 1:28 p.m., the user again uninstalled and deleted it from the phone. Okay, so you have a lot of like uninstall, delete. This is 12 days after the murder. This guy was absolutely freaking out. Kegan admitted to using the application to chat with underage girls. The evidence contained in the application were destroyed when the user deleted them from the device before turning it into law enforcement. Law enforcement officers observed Kegan staying at his girlfriend's apartment on August 14th and 15th. Okay, next slide. Okay. I think it's the same thing. Okay, 1 second. Okay. I don't know if this had the right stuff that I had downloaded. 1 second. I had some pretty important things downloaded. So just give me 1 second to get back onto the screen here. Okay, so we have that. What's up, everybody? Okay, now the next thing that I wanted to go over. How do I do this? Slides and PDFs. Okay. Now we go over to your computer. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to be populating the other things here shortly. Let me see which this one is. I have like 5 different things I put together. Thank you, Franny Fran, new member. Well, I mean, you've been a member, but thank you. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Slides and PDFs. I think I've Kegan Kline uploading. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, hold on. It's loading. It's taking a little bit of time. Maybe my Wi-Fi on my phone. I'll take it off. Okay, here we go. Let's go add to stage. What is... I have like 5 or 6 different Kegan Kline things that I want to share with you guys today. This might not be the one I want to set up just yet. Okay, so this is a summary of the case-by-case X Part 2. Kegan Kline was involved in the events in the video, both before and during the alleged incident. Here's a summary of the video. It says about Kegan Kline. Ron Logan's buddy, this is from Reese Davis, he did interview with the channel Case by Case Part 2. I asked the channel to summarize it because I cannot obviously go through each word for word because that'd be a copyright issue. So the summary, Ron Logan's buddy, Kegan Kline, was a buddy of Ron Logan referred to who was present at the scene and helped facilitate the abduction, communication with the girls. Kegan was at the back of the house, but was told about the girls being engaged in conversation by Ron. Let's put this out. Okay, 1 second. Okay, driving and logistics. Kegan Kline drove Ron Logan and another individual to the bridge area and then moved back to the visible location near Ron Logan's property. He then walked back into the woods from Ron Logan's property to meet with them. During the incident, Kegan Kline reportedly saw the older girl was already cut. So this is word for word with the Reese Davis. Give me 1 second. I think this is, oops. So they're saying there was a third person, but then originally Kegan Kline tried to frame it on Richard Allen, but then recanted what he was saying. Okay, just give me one more second here. Might have too many screens open. So we're going to be going over all the question and answers. Okay, where is the stuff? Hold on a second here. Some other stuff I find very compelling here was, let's see, was him talking about his father, because his father actually looks like the all points bulletin as well. Let's see here. One second. Okay, we're going to read the interrogation next. I had one other thing. Okay. Okay, just a second. Okay, so we're going to go over some of the Kegan Kline testimony here. Okay, this might be a little bit long, but if you guys want to stay with me and hear it, we'll read the questioning. It was State of Indiana versus Kegan Kline. So basically, okay, it's basically going to go law. It's going to say a law officer and then Kegan Kline. Okay, let me make sure what the screen shows. You're just not looking at anything. Okay, I'm going to read it. I can't show it. Okay, cop, here you go, brother. Kline said thank you. Okay, so it's going to be cop, Kegan Kline, instead of me saying cop and Kegan Kline. So, isn't it? Appreciate it. Oh, I'll pull that back. I think I have it upside down. I think that's the problem. Might get you. I'll see what they say. I might get you. I got another one. One of those. I got one like this. Kegan Kline inaudible. The cop says it might be easier to. The cop says like talk out of it because they're recording Kegan Kline. Cop goes, yeah. As soon as they get in here, I'm gonna head out. But I appreciate you being cooperative and then he says, yeah. Cop goes quite easy going and on the way up here. Yeah, no problem. I know you guys deal with probably all kinds of crazy people. Cop replies, well, there are some, but there's a lot of good people too. Right. Okay. Question. But yeah, I'd say you're on the list of eventful people that I've arrested your way. Down at the bottom as far as eventful it was. Yeah. Kind of a non-issue, I mean. Right. Which is good. Yeah. You want me to take that from you or you want to hold it? I can hold it if you. No, that's fine. I just didn't know if you were, I don't know if you can reach the table, if you wanted to sit down or not. Probably have to lean forward, but yeah. Cop said, tell you what, I'll go get you a mask while you're sitting here before I leave, since I got one in the car. Kegan says, hey, Kegan. 1 second, let me just delete some of these. They said that they're just going to let you talk out and take it off when you talk to them. I'm fine with that. Okay, they said. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And then after this, we will go over what Reese Davis said about Kegan Kline. Okay, the cop. Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm not going to worry about getting you. Okay, they're talking about a mask. I appreciate it. Let me get you a key. Okay. All right, brother, let me get these off. All right. So they're basically just taking off the handcuffs. He's telling him to stand up. He's loosening up his handcuffs. He's joking about how he needs to be on a diet. Okay, I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes here soon. Question from the cop. I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Detective Vito with the Indiana State Police. If you're, yeah, you can take that off. Are we good to take ours off? Yeah, I am. You were. Cop goes, you sure you're comfortable with that? Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure you guys were fine. No, that's fine. Personal preference, you know. Like I said, I'm Detective Vito with the Indiana State Police. This is Deputy Clinton. Okay. Vito says, so obviously I know you want to know what's going on today. Yeah. And so we're gonna help you we're going to help you and explain all of that. But of course, I have stuff that I have to do for my job and everything. I'm going to read you some stuff. I'm going to give you a copy just so you can read it. We're at the Peru, Indiana State Police Post. I just want to make sure you understand your rights. And again, this is the Miranda rights. And again, I said my name is Detective Vito with the Indiana State Police, and these are your rights. Oops, 1 second. Okay. If you can't afford a lawyer, blah, 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 you know, the Miranda rights. Okay, right. You understand that? Yep, I understand that. Question. Then if you let me get you yet another pen, okay, so he's got to sign off on it. Okay, today's the 19th, 8/19th of 20. You know what? I'm sorry. If you can do one quick thing, I appreciate that, sir. So like I said, I'm going to try to explain my best here why we're here. I'm going to give you this copy. This is the arrest warrant. All right, so I have to read this whole thing to you. Kokomo, Indiana, State of Indiana, County of Miami, State of Indiana versus Kegan Kline, arrest warrant to the Sheriff of Miami County of Indiana State Police. And law enforcement, you are hereby commanded to arrest Kegan A. Kline forthwith and hold the person to bail. And the amount of, you know, they're just basically talking about the counts of child possession, felony, and all this. Okay, we understand here. I just want to get down to where they start talking here. 1 second. Okay, we watched the videos. Yeah, we've seen the pictures, and I can tell you, you were not underage at the time. Okay, all the underage girls I talked to, I was definitely underage for any of those pictures that I got from, and that's not what the data we have. On the metadata of those, I mean, they're timestamped. Right. Log in. Yeah. You know when we take those from the phone. Yeah. They get a lot of information right off that. So basically just going back and forth. Here's Kegan Kline constantly lying because, I mean, the guy is a very big liar. Cop saying, okay, KIK chat 92. That's where you're trading back and forth, right? Your CSAM images. Okay, an obstruction of justice, Kline says, and we're going to get all that, okay? But I need you to understand why, right? You're here, obviously, yeah, and I'm just being honest with you. I mean, the underage thing, it's right. Not correct, right. Okay, 3 years ago, you were not underage, right? And you were in possession of all this as well, right? So I know even in your last interview, I mean, you have a problem, right? He's so basically he's agreeing that he has a problem, okay? Now, when did you move to Vegas? Kegan Kline says, I'm not sure. It was about 2 years ago. Well, no, I got back about 3 years ago, probably. Like, I don't know. I think June, maybe right after my birthday. Sometime it was right after June 17th. Yeah. Okay. Kline says about, yeah. Then the cop says, you know, where you're currently living now, like the residence. Okay, that's with your girlfriend. Kline says, well, like I stay with her sometimes, but I mean, we just bounce around really. She lets me stay there as much as I need to. Okay, so I'm like June 17th, you moved to Vegas. Where do you stay when you're out there? I had an apartment. Okay, so they go over the apartment. You know, what's the address of the apartment? You know, it was on a road. That's my dad's address. Okay, so let's go down a little bit. He lived in Peru. Okay. The cop says a lot of money isn't there. Yeah, a lot of elderly people, you know, that couldn't leave their house a lot and stuff like that, didn't want to go around and stuff like that. Okay, Detective Vito, what caused you to move back? I just couldn't afford it. I mean, rent was so expensive and just everything in general, just so expensive out there. So yeah, I could definitely see it being more expensive out there. Oh yeah, okay. So a lot of just back and forth here. Let's see if we can get to a lot of the stuff's redacted. Okay, as for CSAM stuff, I mean, you just stopped. Oh yeah, definitely. He's kind of lying there. Well, I mean, when I realized like how serious it is. Oh, okay, sure. You know, like the cops really believe in that. You don't think about it when you're talking to 16 and 17-year-old girls, and then you realize that it comes knocking on your door like shit's not a joke. What we can do now, since I mean you haven't viewed it since then, or no, anything like that? No. Oh, would you like to give us consent for your phone? Yeah, to search the phone. Doesn't say anything. Okay. Do you have any computers or tablets or anything? I have a computer in my room, but I mean, it's not really, it's real old. So basically, he's talking about how old everything is. Let's keep going. Oops, sorry, the computer's stalling. The cops are talking about other electronics. He's bringing up the Xbox. Would you give us consent to search that? Yeah, definitely. Okay, what games are you playing these days? And he's talking about Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. Okay, next page. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the more of the important stuff here. Okay. What phones do you have in your house? Just an iPhone. Okay, the cop says, or at the apartment, just an iPhone? Yeah. You know, what model? It's called the SE. Is that like 2 models back or something, or is that a newer one? It's a brand new one. You have iPhone? Yeah. What color is it? It's red. What room is it in? That first room, like all the way in the back. Like all the way in the back? No, the one that's closest to the front. The detective says where the TV and stuff was. Yeah. Okay. Next page. Do you pa, like, is that his place though? Yeah. Are you on the lease? No. You don't pay rent or anything. Okay. How'd you pull that off? Well, she just lets me stay there really when I need to. I tried slamming a girl's detective. I tried slumming in a girl's house, man. I get my ass kicked out. Yeah. And you said you have an Xbox? Yeah. What is that at? What? It's in it. Kind of Xbox. Xbox One. And what color is it? Black. I know they got a ton of them. Yeah. And you said you have a computer? Yeah. Okay, what kind of computer? Okay, so they're just basically confirming, like, he's got multiple computers. He's got a computer tower. So they're basically just trying to see where you can get all the CSAM stuff, because you can communicate on Xbox and stuff like that. Sorry, I just want to see if there's anything a little bit deeper here. 310, they're going over a Los Angeles phone number. Okay, sorry, give me one more second. This is just a lot of back and forth about why you're in Vegas. How did you get to Vegas? So you married your own mom? Yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah, just saying some weird stuff. My stepdad works at a hog farm, so I work with him. Was like, hey, Anthony said, or Kegan Anthony Kline said, was like, hey, if you work, you can stay here. I mean, I paid rent and stuff. It was a pretty cool job. Cop said, okay, that's not bad. Have you ever done any other weddings done since? Yeah, I've done like 2 or 3 in Nevada. Okay, we're still in Nevada. I'm trying to get back to Delphi here. Hold on. Let's go down. I don't know if the 2020 interview has much in Delphi. Okay, here we go. Kokomo. Just give me a second here. Oh, okay, here we go. Dell. Okay, they're talking about USBs, black. So basically, right now, they're just going through everything he owns and questioning from his tower of his computers, the stuff in his 98 Grand Am, talking about all his messengers and the different iPhones he has, his Snapchat accounts, his fraudulent accounts, his catfishing accounts, all the different stuff. Now he's bringing up, the cop is bringing up, chat threads from May 15th of 2016 when he had a conversation between him and that Emily Ann, and they go back and forth forever on it. The girl was 13 at the time. Okay, let's see. Let's get past 2016 here. Basically going back and forth with Emily Ann on here. Let's see here. Sorry about this. Okay, we're still talking about Emily Ann. I mean, this guy was a complete creep. Okay, here he goes talking about the Dropbox. DC do not have a Dropbox, you're saying? I have a Dropbox, not that I would send nudes and shit through. No. See, a lot of people have Dropboxes. Are people that communicate with you, or you shared images through your Dropbox link? Yeah, no. We start looking at those people, and it just freaking spirals out of control, the cop said. This is a major CSAM ring. Cop, absolutely. And you even have it to the point where when you're getting this, I can't say CSAM, you're sharing it with your Emily Ann account to your Kegan Kline account to your Kegan Kline Dropbox account. He doesn't say anything. You can't tell me that guy that you randomly lived with for a month knows your Dropbox password, knows your phone password. Live with him for a month, and then you are also use that primary phone, and you don't have all that CSAM. Kegan, come on! I swear to God, no chance. I guess CSAM technically isn't under 18, which I don't even know what he's talking about. But yeah, no kids like that ever. You could show me anything you want. That doesn't mean that was me doing it. A detective says it's on your device. Okay, that happened. I mean, that's probably happened to a lot of people. Doesn't mean that it happened. No, it doesn't happen. Okay, someone shoots someone and then they're with the person. That happens a lot, and they get charged for it. And they say they killed them. That doesn't mean they killed them. Yeah, that's why. The detective then goes, yeah, that's why we asked you initially, is there anyone else that has access to your phones? And then he goes, right. Anthony goes, told me how little kids and shit. I've never done that. So you're saying, obviously, as someone, your story changes quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, of course it does, because I never fucking did stuff with little kids. There's a lot of stuff with little kids. Okay, that's not me, is what I'm trying to say. And we're asking you if it's not you, but anything. The detective then says, I'm in your corner on this, but you got to come off of it. Who else? Who else? That's what I'm saying. He's the only person I was around. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so that would be like that. Let's go from here. Then who else had access from your phones from 2016? Okay, so we're still in 2016, going back. Okay, so here we go. So you moved in 2017. Yeah, okay. But then again, you said that you stayed with your dad, and you rarely stayed. Yeah, mainly. But I mean, I stay with him, but I mean like every day or nothing. Did blank stay with you at your dad's house? No, he didn't. The cop, everything's been redacted here. And just to finish the sending another image after Emily Ann says that they're like any age. Yeah, I don't need to hear any of that. The detective says we have to go through it. We do not have to go through it. This is your device named Kegan's iPhone. I understand. The cop says, with your passcode, with your account information, it does have information. Anthony, inaudible. Cop, I'm telling you that right now. I understand that, replies Kline. Okay, so when blank sends an image of a Caucasian female, 7 to 12 years old, I'm taking a picture of herself in the mirror. She has her pants pulled down to her thighs, and she's sitting on the ground. God, this is horrible. With her legs open, exposing herself. I can't say this stuff, but then Anthony says, yeah, that's not me. Detective says, and you know what we're actually had? Audible. DC, some people look at it and then they believe there are two people routinely speaking on multiple devices that are in your house because the phonetics are different, the phrasings are different. That's why I think it's his father. But this is a period of time. We're not talking about this isolated incident. Anthony goes, right. Detective goes, a week here and not here and not here. We're talking about over a period of time. Right. Yeah, I don't know. And again, you have to understand that. I know you do. You're a tech savvy person. Okay. The phone's collected GPS data. Right. Okay. Yeah. You probably know pictures are embedded with GPS as well. Yes. And here's Anthony. And if I was doing that, I wouldn't have not have VPN blockers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Cop says, well, I'm telling you right now that it's connected to the house that you lived at with your dad. Right. Not in Vegas with blank. Right. And you just said blank wasn't there. Anthony goes, I mean, blank been to my dad's house. He hasn't stayed in my house. Cop says he's been there, right? Anthony, redacted. Cop, okay. But again, years prior to that, the cop, conversations that last over days, not like, oh, let me. Anthony goes, right. Cop says, and I mean, I'm telling you, if I had a buddy come over to my house and I said, here's my phone, and Anthony responds, yeah. Okay. Cop goes, on it for, I mean, these are hour-long conversations. Anthony replies, right. The cop says, Kegan, Kegan says, okay, but if you're on drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying we used to take drugs a lot together. Detective, what type of drugs? I mean, hard drugs, where, like, what? You're going to pass out? PCP, LSD, a lot of, mushrooms. Detective, so, I mean, you've done it. You did that all the time sometimes. I mean, yeah. Are you still? When's the last time you used? Oh, forever. I mean, I haven't used hard drugs. I mean, any drug? I mean, I smoke marijuana still. Other than that, yeah. But other, nothing. Question: is there anything, any narcotics or drugs in the house at all? No. Or in the apartment? No. There's a bong. There's a bong though. Again, I mean, you're really going to have to do some more convincing me that a friend who randomly comes over and you guys get high together is taking your phone. No, I totally get where you're coming from, Anthony says. I don't think you do. I totally do like that because I'm telling you right now. Anthony says, honestly, sounds really stupid. I get what you're saying. All right, this guy is a habitual liar. This guy is one of the biggest liars I've ever heard of. This guy is crazy. And we have a lot more tying him to being with Ron Logan, but I'm going to keep reading this. So I'm telling you right now, a bridge. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is where it gets good. Honestly, sounds really stupid. I get what you're saying. Detective, you're a bright dude. There's no doubt. Okay, detectives BSing. Yeah, you're a bright dude, maybe with technology and trying to manipulate little minors. I mean, I don't know if I'd call that a bright dude, but he's trying to stroke his ego. I would say most of the time you're probably the smartest guy in the room. What's there? Two other iPhones there, both white. Whose are those? Anthony, where at? In the apartment. Anthony, there's no other. I'm sorry, Kegan Anthony Kline. I keep saying Anthony because there's an A. I'll say Kegan. But Anthony is his middle name, which is his dad's name, which is looks like the All Points Bulletin. The younger guy looks like Kegan Kline, and then the dad actually on one of the sketches looks like his dad, which is even crazier. And I have photos of it that were actually on the True Killer with Tony Bruschi. Actually, she does have another phone. Cop, why does she have two phones? She needed to get her service switched over through Boost Mobile, and she never did. I bought her that new phone, and she never did. Cop, how did you buy her a new phone when you're not working? Well, I mean, I make money through, all I need to do is one job. I mean, I can make $1,000 easily. You said you charged 200? Kegan, yeah, but I mean, that's just for a menu, but I mean, if I make a website, I can do work for people, make videos, all kinds of stuff for them. Well, and again, I don't see it. And I'm telling you right now that on each and every one of these devices that have your names on them, there's not one time a friend comes over and uses it. Redacted, right. Where does blank live now, man? In Vegas somewhere, I'm guessing. You ever talked to him or what? No. We had a fallout over money, pretty much. Him trying to make the money we had. Cop, to do with what he was going to do. Kegan, I don't know, probably creating a nest egg, probably a move. Okay, so they're just going back and forth. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I think might have the older interview, or I'm sorry, Okay, so babe, now the cops saying, because I'm telling you right now, this is a level 4 for child exploitation stacked together. You're looking at 45 years in Indiana. Well, these are all. That's not counting. There's a total of another 30 counts. So do you want to go through this and get charged with all this? And take all this because you're getting charged with this. All of this is being put on you. And if you don't want to hear everything so I can sit in silence and not say anything. If you want to keep talking to us, yeah, okay. You want to keep talking to us? Yep. Okay. Again, I have no reason to lie to you. The detective says, I understand. I'm sorry. But acting the way I do, but I mean, the detective says, if I didn't do something, Kegan goes, right. And then that's what Kegan goes, right. Detective goes, so we would expect that, but you got to understand we need answers for this because it's either it's inaudible, it's all you, or it's you and someone else. Right. Okay, so they're just going back and forth. Now, detective, that's like I said, Kegan, they told me the last time I was here too. Detective, I wasn't here last time. Kegan, about, and this is inaudible. Detective, I don't. Kegan, killing 2 girls. That's what they say to me. They tried to say that I failed a polygraph and that I did it, me or my dad. So, do you understand how I kind of have like presence where like, wow, these guys are bullshit artists? You get where I'm coming from? Detective, right. And I get, and I just want to be clear, you do not want a lawyer at this time. You're still willing to talk to us. Kegan says, yeah. The cop says, okay, but you have to understand from our point of view that we are going off the data of multiple devices, okay? And we do not need to get to this because right now you are taking the heat and everything is being placed on you, okay? So that's why this is important to go through this. Now, at any point that you want to be honest and say, look, guys, this was not on me. I know it wasn't on me because of this. Kegan replies, I just did. Kegan says, litter, but I can't. I don't know who it is, but I'm telling you, I did not. Any children at all. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going through it then, okay? The cop said. Kegan goes, all right. The cop, so like we said, this is still the iPhone 4, okay? Still the Emily Ann 45 conversation now. This is on 4/30/16. Emily Ann is talking to, Emily Ann says, I just checked in with Keek's messages and his little cousin accidentally. Okay, so they're going over Emily Ann. I'm going to skip over this. We know he has all these young girls in his photos. I want to get down to the Delphi stuff. Let's see. Okay, just give me 1 second. Thanks for with us. Again, Reese Davis mentioned hey, can everybody hear me or did I lose everybody while reading that? I may have just think I lost everybody. I was just rambling. Okay, I'm back. How long was I gone for? Does anybody know? Let me type that out. Sorry about that, everybody. Let me put up something else here. Yikes. 30 seconds. Oh, okay. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, let me put up just an extra little image file just so you're not looking at a blank screen. I'm just trying to. Okay, for about a minute. Okay, let's put up. We'll put up a screenshot of them while I read this. I was trying to tie through. So that case by case acts part 2, I received last night, and I have it all summarized in a question and answered on what Reese Davis said. I just don't know if I can read it under copyright issues because it's not my video, but I do have what he said, so I can summarize it. But here, I'm going to read a little bit more. I'm going to try to skip to see if I can see anything on Delphi on this. God, they keep talking about this. Emily Ann, 2015. Yeah, as much as I care about all these other people. Okay, so this is important. Where the cop said that Tony Kline, Kegan Kline, Tony Kline. I think that's the dad. Emily Ann. So these are all the people that were texting on the phone. They're talking about all these like sexual things that I can't say. We got to get to the iPhone 5C. The iPhone 5C is the Delphi stuff. So 1 second. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to see. So when you were taking a polygraph, you were done. Went back at 9:50. Yes, I found my phone. It was somewhere in the kitchen. We got to get to the February date. See, the 26th. Here we go. And then the day of the 26th, you uninstalled, delete, meet me from your phone, and then you uninstalled Snapchat. You deleted everything. Okay, let me keep going here. Sorry, everyone. He's talking about hiding stuff from the police. I mean, he must have uninstalled everything. Okay. I apologize. I probably should have went through all this before I jumped on. I figured this was the Delphi one. 1 second. Timestamps are different. So basically, he's just telling all these lies and trying to cover his tracks for uninstalling because he's had so much CSAM stuff. It's crazy. Okay, wait 1 second. Okay. Now he brings up his dad. No, but I would much rather it be someone like my dad. You know what I mean? I don't. I just can't understand. I wish you could help me. I mean, like imagine like you said, you have no father growing up or whatever. So that's the same thing. It's just, you know what I mean? If you found out any of that. Okay, so he's talking about his dad, talking to underage girls. And he obviously knew in 2017. Okay, hold on. Sorry, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Okay. So they're just going back and forth. 200 nude images. 13-year-olds, 9-year-olds. They're just, let's see. Meeting a girl in Vegas, they're talking about. Maybe this is the wrong interview. Hold on. We have another. Sorry, just give me 1 second. We got like another 30 pages to go through, and we'll have this pulled up. I really sorry. Okay, whoa. Okay. I think I found something. Okay, and Kegan, a pin and swipe. What do you mean? A detective, yeah, you had a swipe and a pin in the backup on the phone. I don't. Cop said, so Samsung or something. Kegan Kline said, yeah. So, like I said, the thing that we need to clarify on stuff, we need to clarify. And just as in the CSAM and the solicitation exploitation that you weren't honest, like you said, you just were nervous and right. With anxiety of getting caught, the Delphi investigation, we found things that you weren't honest about either. What do you mean? And then I'm going to go into that because, yeah, please do. We need to discuss it, okay? You had told investigators, and I know you say you don't remember a girl that you've ever talked to, but I know you remember Liberty German. Kegan says inaudible, right? And you talked to her and you admitted talking to her, and I don't think, okay, Kegan said, I don't think I've ever did, though. I think I talked to one of her friends, like I told them. You admitted that you talked to her. Inaudible for a few hours at a sleepover, and then you blocked her because she was annoying. You remember that? Yeah, you're right. You remember that? Yes. So again, I'm going through this with a fine comb. The detective said that's not what happened, and I think you wanted to be truthful, and it was hard for you because you were scared. And it's a double homicide investigation. Kegan Kline says, yeah. The cop goes, I get it. Kline goes, right. Cop goes, I get it. But here's where you have to be honest about it, because now we have all the information, okay? Right. And I'm telling you right now, And you can say you don't remember, but I'm telling you for a fact, you did not just talk to them during a sleepover, okay? I'm telling you for a fact, you said I didn't exchange any pictures with them. You said I didn't exchange any pictures with them. I don't think I've ever did. I'm telling you that's a fact you did, okay? Because the Anthony Shots persona, that was a fake account. Kegan said, right, that you admitted to making communicated with Liberty German on Snapchat, on Instagram. And like I said, it was not just for a couple hours. So we need to revisit that, right? And we need to clarify that, because right now, what we have and that what we can officially go with is you saying that, but we know for a fact it was a lie, okay? That's what we know right now, because we have the data, and again, I made the comment in the beginning, Snapchat thinks that. Kegan Kline goes, right. Detective goes, it all deletes. The detective goes, it doesn't, okay? So when you think, how did you meet Liberty German? You didn't meet in person, but Kline inaudible. How did you? I don't know. I literally don't know. And again, Kegan Kline, I had to be on Instagram or something. Okay, it was on Instagram. He responds, yeah. Kline, and again, you can't tell me you don't know, because you have to know, because this needs to be clear. This can't be something that's left, okay? Because we need to know, because we know through the records. I know it wasn't so long ago. I don't. But again, like I said, right. Detective goes, okay, so she added you on Instagram. When was that, would you say? Kegan goes, I literally have no clue. I don't remember talking to her really. I didn't even know who she really was until after I saw on the news. And I was like, oh, wow, that name. Like, I remember that name. The detective goes, okay, again, that's a lie too, because we know that for a fact that when you were in Vegas, that on your device, you were searching the Delphi investigation. Okay? You're searching the Delphi investigation. Yeah, because that's like by our, you know what I mean? Okay. Kline, that's something getting killed right out of here. Detective, but it's not just. Also, Reby, if this disconnects, can you send me a text, because I can't see the screen or anything. So I'm just letting everybody know I can't see anything. So Reby, if you could text my cell phone, if when I'm reading it goes offline. Okay, detective. Okay, so it's a news article that looked at on Safari. Tips pour in after suspect identified in a Delphi double homicide. New details in the Delphi killings to be released. The audio clip. You remember the audio clip? Right. Okay. How many times would you say you listened to it? I don't know. Probably a few. I'm not sure. A few, as in like 1, 2? Kegan Kline, I don't know. I'm trying to hear the guy's voice, see what he says. I don't know. Probably 5 or 6. I don't know. 6? Detective says. Kegan goes, it wasn't really that long. 6 times. Right. Another article, information sought, investigation into the deaths of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. It was a lot. And you saying that it was a party weekend, nothing but fun. And then that's not what your phone says. It's not what your search history says. Kline says, because I'm searching about people dying. Nope. Just people dying, a person that you literally talked to. Kline, yeah, but I didn't realize that at the time. That's who I was talking to. How do you not? The detective says. Kline, because I don't think, like I said, I talked to a ton of people. Detective, okay then, I'll Kline. And then like once I realized, I was like, whoa, what the F? Detective, when would you say you realized that it was Liberty German, the girl that you were talking to who was killed? Kline, I don't know. A little bit probably after, probably happening. I mean, probably after it happened, I saw her face, I saw her name, then okay. And then you told investigators that you had never talked to anybody? Kegan Kline. Yeah, I don't remember talking to her. Okay, Kline again. I remember talking to one of her friends, I thought. You just said you remembered talking to her. Kline. Well, that's what I remember her being there, like with her friend, but I don't remember ever talking to her. That's not what you said, Anthony or Kegan. Kegan goes, I said. The cops said you talked. Kegan, first interview. The cop said, no, you said, Kegan, I'm not here to argue with you, okay? I'm not here to lie to you either. Kegan responds, okay, well, I'm not here to lie to you either, detective, but I'm telling you what you told investigators was you talked to her the night of the sleepover. Kegan, this is 3 years ago. I mean, I don't remember everything I told them. You know what I mean? Detective, there's no way. I mean, and again, then Kline says, I'm sorry, detective said that. Then Kline says, why would I think about that? That was the most traumatic experience of my life. And telling me that, detective, I bet it was. Kegan killed people. So why would I ever think about that? Cop said, because it was a traumatic experience, wasn't it? Okay, I'm just checking to see if we're still online. Okay, we're still online. Why would I want to revisit? Detective, okay, so them telling me that. Detective, then why lie? Kegan, then telling me that I failed a polygraph? Detective, then why lie to investigators about it? Kegan, I really, detective inaudible. Kegan, didn't think I did. Detective, we're not 3 years into it or away from it now. We're 2 weeks after it happened, okay? Kegan goes, right. Detective, why did you tell them that you only talked to her one night when that? Kegan, because that's probably all I remember, I mean. Detective, remember 2 weeks. Kegan, I mean, like I said, I talked to hundreds of people. I don't remember talking to one girl, you know what I mean? Detective, just one girl that got killed? You wouldn't remember that? Then why care what happened? You said it. I mean, it was so important. Kegan, it is. I mean, that's 2 little kids getting killed in a town that's right by me, and there's a person out there somewhere. Detective, and one of the girls that got killed you're talking to, including the day of, Kegan. Kegan responds, okay, then I mean, a lot of people get she. Kegan killed, and then people talk to them. What do you mean? That doesn't mean that I killed them. I didn't say that. That's what you're saying. Like, absolutely not. Did not say that. You're implying it. Nope. That I know something about that or anything like that? That's what you're implying? No. What I'm trying to do is clarify. Kegan, I'm telling you the truth. I get that you don't believe me, but I'm telling you the truth, whether it's my whatever psyche telling me to put that out of my mind that I don't remember. I don't remember what I told them 3 years ago. Okay, well, I don't remember ever talking to her. So you said you never sent her any images. I don't think I ever did. There's an image that you sent to her in a Ferrari that says an audible sports car. Yeah, because I have a Ferrari. Well, Anthony Schatz did. Okay, detective, right? Anthony Schatz had a Ferrari. I don't know. I don't remember. Here's another one that you'd sent her. I hate how long it takes for this to warm up. Ferrari. Here's another one. Okay, like I would send to everyone. I mean, that's detective, like I have Ferrari. Yeah, like I would have a Ferrari. What do you mean? I didn't. Anthony Schatz did. Okay, but I don't. I don't remember that. You were okay. You're acting like I remember every little piece of every little. Okay, well, let Kline goes thing of every. Let's girl that I've ever talked to. Detective, let's get this straight then. So Kline goes, I forgot even about the name until you said that 10 minutes ago. I forgot about it. So Kegan Kline was not talking to Liberty German. Anthony, right. Schatz was. right? Right. Yeah. Okay. Anthony Schatz was. Okay. Hear him kind of like in second person talking about it. Okay. Detective. So Anthony Schatz. So when they were asking, you did. I'm sorry. So Anthony Schatz. So when they were asking, you sent her images? You said no because you didn't, but Anthony Schatz did? No, because I don't remember sending them anything. Okay, well, I'm telling you here, there's off the bat. Here's another one. Here's a couple more, actually. And then here's one specifically sent to her. Is it bad that I'm super into you? Kegan said, like I would say that to every one of these girls. I mean, the same thing to every one of these girls. Detective, but when you're telling me that you never sent her or Anthony Schatz never sent her, because I don't remember ever sending her anything. I don't remember ever talking to her. I remember talking to her friend. Like you think you're going to catch me in a lie. I'm not really lying to you at all. I don't remember it. It's not, I've caught you in a lie. Kegan goes, you haven't. The detective, it is a lie. Kegan goes, you haven't though. Detective, you said I've never sent her anything. Kegan goes, and you asked me, do I remember that? And I said, no, I don't remember that. Detective, well, I'm telling you. Kegan goes, so I'm not lying. I'm not going to argue with you about these little itty bitty word sentences, okay? Kegan, it's not itty bitty when you're telling me that I know something about people that have died. Detective, on camera and audio recorded, you said I did not send Liberty German any pictures. Kegan, right. Detective, okay. Kegan, don't remember ever doing that. Detective, well, I'm telling you right now you did. Kegan, okay. Detective, okay. Kegan, all right. Detective, so that's a fact. Kegan, okay. Detective, that's not me trying to catch you in a lie. That's a fact. Kegan, okay. You were trying to catch me in a lie because you keep asking me the same things. That you trying to catch me in a lie. I don't remember, okay? Detective, okay. Kegan, you can think that I'm lying to you, but I really don't remember it. The cop, and I'm telling you, you may not remember it. Kegan, okay. Detective, but it happened. Kegan goes, but it happened. Okay, yeah. So you can, right. That is a fact, right. Okay, yeah. Okay, right. Fact, right. Sorry, I'm just jumping through. So here's back to detective. So just like talking to Liberty German is a fact, right? Okay, Anthony Schatz, this is detective. Anthony Schatz communicated with Liberty German, and it's a fact that it wasn't just a few hours at a sleepover. In your own admission that you said in an interview, it is a fact on an audio recorded and video recorded interview, you said we will never send any pictures. And then the very next couple sentences you said, well, I knew they were at a sleepover because they sent pictures to me. Yeah, she didn't. Her friend did. Right. Detective, so you knew they were there. And I mean, you had said that she had sent a picture. I remember that specifically. Again, that's a fact. I'm not trying to catch you in anything. That's a fact, Anthony. Okay, next. Okay, just like, again, it's a fact that you're communicating to her for multiple days at a time, just like the other girls that you're talking to, including up to the day that she went missing right before. And what I want to know is you would communicate with her on what? The iPhone 5 was your primary device, right? Yeah, the cop. That's a fact. Okay, what other devices would you communicate with her on? Anthony, I don't know. I have no clue of even talking to her. What other devices would you communicate with anyone else on at the time? The iPhone? Yeah. Detective, okay, well, on February 13th, this would have been logged in a little bit earlier, so that would have been 8 o'clock in the morning at your house, blank, okay, where you and your dad lived, two separate devices. See the numbers here? How they're the same? Log in, log out, log in, log out, one device, log in, log out, all within minutes of each other to the same Anthony Schatz Snapchat account. What two devices were these? This is a fact. Kegan goes, yeah, I don't. The cop goes, and this is not. Kegan goes, it had to be the Samsung Galaxy then or something. Detective goes, why would you log ever? Detective, devices, this makes no sense. Talking, Kegan goes, talking, having my Snapchat, my actual Snapchat open at the same time. So now we're talking about the dad going in and out too. And this case just keeps going deeper and deeper when you really start going through this. Okay. Detective, this is the exact same snap. This is Anthony Schott's account. Anthony said, yeah, I know, but I'm saying like using. Cop, 2 different devices. Kegan, mine, and then using another phone at the same time. Talking, you know what I mean? Yeah, but why would you do that? The detective said. I mean, to talk to more girls, Anthony said. Detective says, so? Kegan goes, it's the same account. Detective, yeah, same account, but you're using 2. No, but what I'm saying is I logged out of that to log into my other phone. Detective, which was? No. What was that? What was the other phone? That's what I'm saying. It has to be the Galaxy that. Detective, which one? There was like a Galaxy S, I think, or something. I don't know. S what? Kegan, huh? And S what? Which one? It was white. I'm not sure. I don't know. It had a cracked screen real bad because I sat on it. Detective, okay. Another fact. Then you said I did not talk to anyone about missing them, about the girls being missing. Right, says Kegan. Okay, Snapchat return. You talked to one of her friends who said to you, Andy said, who I was talking to? That you were talking to the whole time? Absolutely correct, detective said. That's who I remember, Kegan. Yes, correct, the detective said. Kegan said, right. The detective said, she said, did you hear about Liberty? You respond on Anthony Schott's, oh my God, what happened? That's talking to someone about 2 girls that were missing, then wound up dead. Kegan, right, I guess you're right. Detective, okay, same person or the girl that you were talking to says that Anthony Schatz was meeting up with Liberty German. Kegan says that's. Detective goes, facts. Kegan goes, a total lie. That's a total lie. Detective goes, and then Kegan goes, that's a total effing lie. Detective in the conversation, it goes, Kegan goes, that's a lie. Okay. Now they're going back and forth. Detective, same conversation of the, oh my God, what happened? Do. Anthony Schatz says, yeah, we were supposed to meet, but she never showed up. That's a freaking lie. That's a damn lie. Detective, how do you know? How can you? Because I know for a fact I did never talk to. Detective, so how do you know? No, hang on, because you don't know a lot of things about all the stuff, but all of a sudden you know for 100% fact. Kegan, because I didn't effing murder someone. Yeah, so yeah, I know. I didn't say that. For an effing fact, Kegan then says that I don't anything about what happened. Detective, okay. Have I one time said you murdered them? Kegan, you're implying. Detective, absolutely not. I can honestly. Kegan, he's on your side. No. Detective, I can honestly sit here. Kegan, if you were someone else and I'd ask them, detective says you are not. Kegan, you would see that you. Detective, I can honestly. Here goes Kegan saying you're implying. Detective says sit here. Kegan, for the past 30 minutes that I've done this, listen to me, detective says, I can honestly sit here and I'm telling you, I do not believe that you killed Liberty or Abby. Okay, thank you. I can tell. Thank you. Detective, you that right now. Thank you. Okay, yes. But you need to tell me. I don't know anything. Who was logging in? Like I told you before to these accounts, I do not know. No, you don't know again? Now you don't know again? I told you I logged in from 2 different phones. I had 2 different phones. So who was talking to the girls? Cop, talking to the girl about you were supposed to meet Libby. I don't remember ever. And she didn't show up saying that? Now you don't remember again? Yeah, because detective, see how this can never happen. I don't. Detective, I don't. Kegan says. Detective, really confusing. I never effing told her I would hang out with her. I never anything like that. Detective, you remember certain things and then certain things you don't remember. It's awfully convenient, Kegan. It's really convenient. Okay. Who's redacted? I went to school with him. Like high school, the detective said? Yeah. He was friends with his sister. Who's that? Did you date her? No. I was really good friends with her, though. Okay. What about blank? Who's that? Her mom. Well, her stepmom. Okay, blank. Yeah, blank. A lot of this is redacted. I mean, I'm guessing maybe someone's cousin. Okay, I'm going to go through this because a lot of this is redacted. Talking about brothers. Yeah, he was grades lower than me. Yeah, I even think he was a grade or two lower than me. Detective. So, what's your connect with that? The entire family. I actually used to stay with them a lot. Who? When I lived in Galveston, when they lived in Galveston, stayed with the family. Yep, I stayed with the family. Okay, I'm going to jump back. And you dated her. Okay. Detective, and looking to hook up with Anthony Schatz. So she gives me an address to Anthony Schatz because she's coming home after school and she wants to hook up, and her parents aren't home for a couple hours. Someone associated with the blank family. Okay. She gets off from it. Okay. This girl associated with the family gets off a school bus, and there's a guy with a ski mask peering in her window. Anthony Schatz says, okay, so you're trying to say that's me or something? No, I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying there's another coincidence of the time we have. We're talking to Anthony Schatz. Then she gives an address to Anthony Schatz. She wants to hook up with him. See, I don't even remember her giving me her address, but it's we have, right. And she did. And in fact was actually a police filed report when it happened, right? Detective, she comes home from school, sees a guy with a ski mask looking at her from a bedroom window directly after giving this address to Anthony Schatz. As a matter of fact, that's the incident that started everything else last time. That's how everything started last time, was that incident. Kegan goes, that's crazy. Detective, I mean. Kegan goes, I know how bad. Hang, and on top of that, you searched blank on February 19, 2017. What do you mean I searched? The day before that happened, your phone searched Libby's family. What do you mean? I'm telling you, your phone searched. Like on Facebook or something? Uh-huh. Right, okay. Another coincidence. Yeah, I see what you're trying to put together. I swear to God, I was not looking in someone's effing. We didn't say that. Will you stop? You're implying that I got. Detective, we're trying to get. I know what you're trying to understand our picture. Kegan, two, I know. I get what you're trying to do, but I'm telling you, I never was in a ski mask looking in her effing house. Kegan, I know them. I could literally call her dad right now and go over there. But they do not know you're Anthony Schatz. Exactly. But I'm saying if I wanted to get her or whatever, I would just effing just go over there. But she, myself, wouldn't give it to Kegan, but she would though. She's told me before she liked me. That's the whole reason why I would try to talk to her, because I knew she liked me. That doesn't mean I'm in a ski mask and I'm effing in her house. Detective, I was concerned about with when you were in Vegas, or let's even go when you were in Vegas, about being somehow connected to Liberty German, because I talked to one of her friends, detective, but that would really mean you said you yourself, anyone can talk to a friend of someone, right? That you were. Okay, feels like this is getting off the rails a little. Let's see. Anthony Schatz. But I mean, if someone got murdered, I would tell them, anyone that I've ever come in contact with recently, you know what I mean? The question, yeah, but it went more than that, Kegan. You were very concerned. I mean, the search is in your phone, and this is Kegan. Yeah, I'm concerned. What do you mean? Someone gets killed around us? I'm concerned. Yes, detective. Okay, so detective, do you know when you gave your polygraph that you said Liberty? Like, what's her name? I don't remember her name. And then after you spent all the time reading it over, Kegan, because my brain is going crazy. What do you mean? What I mean is there's no way you didn't know what her name was. And you're sitting there, that Liberty, whatever her name is, your polygraph. Kegan, I don't remember. And before the polygraph, I mean, you are looking up articles about it. I mean, you even before you guys went to Vegas, you guys are, foul play suspected. Um, Kegan, yeah, I mean, okay, so we're going through another page. Detective, foul play suspected, another Delphi community concerned. Kegan says, right. So I mean, you're telling me that you police asking? Kegan, so everyone looked that up. No. Kegan, am I a suspect? I didn't say that, but Kegan, I know, but I'm saying like just because you know what I mean. I'm freaked out about someone dying. If you Kegan doesn't mean that. Okay, detective, if you think that was on its face right, which I kind of do, is say it doesn't make sense that you would look at that. But we're marrying that up with Kegan. It makes sense that I would at that because it's in. A lot of this is kind of like weird, so I apologize for how it's sounding. Let's make sure everyone's still on. Okay. Okay. It makes sense for us to question you about looking that up when you're one of the last people to ever speak to her before she wound up dead. Or excuse me, Anthony Schatz was one of the last. The Anthony Schatz account, right, is one of the last people to speak with her before she winds up dead. Right. And then you said that it could be a friend of a friend. Well, hey, I talked to such and such, and they're friends, but you're searching. Can law enforcement trace your IP address from your social media? Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I look that up if I'm looking up stuff on the internet? That's not just Kegan says about detective. That's not concerned in your area. That's because you knew you were talking to her. Kegan, I'm talking about, I would look up because of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Um, I'm talking to underage girls, so why would I not? And including the one that got murdered? Okay, right. That makes sense. I did not look that up because of that. Internet survey, a server, John Benet Ramsey, OJ Simpson after that. Why that? Those are unsolved cases. What do you mean? How do you know? I mean, this is how do I know they're the most popular? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, how do you know that this case was going to be unsolved because this was a few days? Because they put out a picture of him. They put out a picture of Bridge Guy in a voice. And then, yeah, someone murdered someone. They have a picture of them, of their voice. I'm going to look to see if I know that person. Like, what do you mean? The guys on there telling everyone, the state guy or the state police department guys on there telling everyone, if you know of anyone that looks like this or anything, call in. What we want to know is who had access to Anthony Schatz's account. Me. On two different devices? Yes. At the same time? Yeah. So if you're the sole owner of that account, the only one who had access to it, I mean, on those days, that just looks like logging into one of the phones. I was logged into one phone. I logged out, logged in on the other phone. That's what it looks like. So you were the one that sent pictures to her. You're the one. I mean, if I that talked to her before, have to I? The sleepover. You're the one that talked to her all that weekend. And you're the one that talked to her, one of the last people to talk to her before she was murdered. That's what you're telling me. Anthony says, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you got to understand from where I'm coming from. Right. That's right. 100%. I mean, I'm going to buy this for you. Right. I'm going to take you. Right. Out in cars. I mean, that's the whole purpose of Anthony Schatz. Which whether he's targeting, looking for girls, that is one, going to believe story, right? Two, going to give you what you want. So you were trying to get nude images from Liberty and spoke to her actually. I mean, one of the any girl I talk to, it's just not one girl, it's every girl. It's a girl that wanted blank man, a different man. I mean, we're not the reason this is a big deal. I mean, this is serious. The other ones, Not dead. She's dead. Right. I mean, the biggest case in Indiana. Right. Hands down. Right. The media attention. I mean, there's been no stone left unturned in this investigation. Kegan goes, right. Detective. And the only thing all of the investigators, all the hours put into this, and all you have to do to think yourself, you're a juror. Right. You know yourself in this scenario and you're just listening to the evidence, right? You have a guy in a small town USA, right? Small town USA, you know. So if you're a small town, you get it. If you're not, you don't, right? Okay. You know your dad's Facebook friends with some of Abby's mother's friends, right? So that's kind of stuff you would expect to see in small town USA. Okay, this is getting more and more interesting. uh, All right, your girlfriend, your current girlfriend is friends on Facebook with Liberty's ex-boyfriend. Small town USA right there. So there's still stuff that you know that maybe like if you're in Chicago or something, you look at and okay, that's it, right? Right. So okay. So you take all that, for example, the small town USA, right? Okay. They're at a sleepover at Blank's residence and that the whole thing with Liberty when she was speaking to Anthony Schatz, and then we're at the redacted, and here we are. They're at the redacted, and this is who Kegan go who was at the redacted detective, the blank, the families of the yeah that the family of Kegan Kline knows. Right. Anthony Schatz knows. Right. So now we're worried about grooming. We have a guy that has troves of CSAM on his devices. We have Liberty being groomed. And unfortunately, she was completely enthralled with Anthony Schatz, completely like thought, I'm talking to this rich, hot guy. I know, like, as she is completely in love with Anthony Schatz. Kegan, right. So this account that you set up, and I'm sure that you've seen our social media had something like, waiting for Peter Pan to come. It was almost like a little hanging fruit statement from someone that would target girls. You probably see that and think that it's going to be an easy target. I don't get what you mean, detective. What more of a targeting thing, right? Like a more, maybe you didn't go into that depth. I don't know how much depth you went into looking for girls you wanted to get nudes from as Anthony Schatz, just like buckshot method. See who comes back. But regardless, she bought the story. She bought the account. So we have a friend saying she knew that she was trying to meet up with Anthony Schatz. Kegan goes, see, I don't remember ever saying to meet up with them. Okay, but I'm telling you, this is what we had. Right. Yeah. We have that. I mean, right. We have that. Right. Next page. We have multiple devices logins from your house. Right. Blank for Snapchat account within minutes from each other. Right. Okay. We have the day that you gave your polygraph and your interview. You were steadfast in. I met them in the beginning of February, like the first or second. You were steadfast. You never came off that. I never spoke to her beyond February 1st or 2nd. And the guy says, look, we know you spoke to her the day she was murdered. You said you absolutely not. You said you blocked her. She was annoying me after the first or second, right? We have those images. You're saying that's not, that's what a nude is for. We have these grooming pictures. I'm back on. Can you hear me? Did you hear that important part? Okay, I'm back on. Can everybody hear me? I'm back on. Can everybody hear me? Okay. How long was I going? Did you hear the part where it said, let me ask you why? Okay, this is what the detective said. Let me ask you why you, after you failed the polygraph about knowing about the Delphi investigation, come home, delete your Snapchat and your Instagram, which you used to communicate with Libby, and then you searched how long does DNA last? Why would you do that? Did you guys hear me say that part? Okay. I'm going to read it one more time because this is where it starts getting interesting. Detective says, let me ask you why you would fail a polygraph test about knowing about the Delphi investigation. Come home, delete your Snapchat and your Instagram account, which you used to communicate with Libby, and then you searched how long does DNA last? Why would you do that? Um, let me make sure my phone's turned on too. Sorry. I have no clue. I don't know because they DNA tested me right. So obviously they have DNA on the body because why else would they DNA test? So why would you worry about your DNA being on that body? I wouldn't. Then why would you search? It's a common question. That's just a common freaking thing about it. No, I don't because you're giving DNA. Right. So you obviously know I didn't do it. Want right, right? Yeah, right. But then you started to think, not see like, then why? Okay, let's go through this. Here's the detective. Let me make sure I'm still on. Yeah, it really was a botched investigation. This is crazy. Um, why would you care how long DNA lasted? What if it lasted 100 years? What would it matter to you if it was on the body? Then it wouldn't matter, right? But you knew 110% your DNA wouldn't be there, right? So why does it matter how long it lasts? Because I wondered if a person had DNA on their body, if it actually knew who the person was. That doesn't make sense. How doesn't it? Because it doesn't. It doesn't. Because in my mind, I'm thinking these people think I killed someone. So if they actually have DNA on the body, they're going to know I didn't do it. But if there's no DNA on the body, it's obviously like, okay, well, that's weird. But again, failed the polygraph test. That just adds to everything he just said. It's stacking the whole thing. It's not, though, if you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's not. I don't understand. I literally have no clue how the girl died. I don't know anything to do with that. Yeah, it was a weird ass coincidence that happened to talk like her. And then we go again and it stops. Uh, okay, detective. And then we go again. Something else stacks up on top of this is when you talk to investigators. I mean, this is fresh in your mind. You just got back from Vegas. You've been nonstop searching stuff. You've been talking about it with other girls that Libby knew. You've been searching it before you went to Vegas. And you tell investigators, I was with my dad all day. We went to my grandma and grandpa's house at noon. No, I told them I didn't know what. I mean, I don't ever leave. So, yeah, I'm probably out of the house, really. I mean, I'm telling, again, the detective said, Kegan, I don't remember everything I did. I don't remember everything I did. Well, I'm refreshing your memory. Kegan, like I told you, where I would go to my grandparents a lot. You told them a few days after this happened, you know you were with your dad all day. Detective, from on your interview said said either 12 to 2 or 12 to 3, and then you came back home. That's what you said. Anthony, that's not, I don't remember that. That's what you said, right? Kegan, no, because like, hey, you really need to think about this. Okay, hold on. I might have to take a little bathroom break. Right. Audible. Okay. Um, so I was like, okay, detective, well, your phone does not line up to that. And again, that's another fact I don't have to remember it. Okay, where was my phone at? Please tell me. It was at your residence because I don't ever leave it there until when? You went to somewhere near your grandparents' house, but you did not go to your grandparents' house. Uh, Kline says blank. The detective says where? Kline says blank house. Okay. Kegan says, That's the only other place I go. He sold me weed. That's literally the only place I go. So why lie? Several times. I didn't. I don't think I've ever lied, but I'm saying I left it at my house. You said in an interview, audio recorded to 2 law enforcement officers, including an FBI agent, right? You said I was here at home from this to this time, and then I went to my grandparents' house and then went right back home, and I was with my dad the entire time. Done. I know. Okay. That for a fact, because you said it, and that's what you said. Okay. But now you're telling me Kline, where were you last Monday at 7:45? Probably at home, detective said. But again, okay, I was. And then they're going back and forth. The detective, this is what I'm telling you. So basically, he's putting himself at the crime scene. Okay. And basically with those testimonies with Reese Davis talking to Kegan Kline, saying he was with Ron Logan, it starts getting fishy. And I'm starting to think the dad too. Okay. This just keeps going back and forth with like one little statement answers. Just hang on a second. Okay. I understand that you connected to a Wi-Fi source that was in that house. No, I did not. I'm telling you 1,000%, I don't go anywhere besides my grandma. So why did you tell investigators that you went there? Okay, you went to the Country Club Road. Whose house is that? Country Club Road. I have no clue. That's where my grandma lived. Okay. They're talking about Peru. Let's go a little deeper into this. Grandparents' house. So how do you know blank did it then? Because you don't remember what happened. Wait 1 second. Didn't have a car. Sorry, I'm jumping around because this is a lot of. Okay, so why did you tell investigators that you went there when you did it? Because he was like, where do you ever go? That's the only places I go. Don't know what I was doing 2 weeks ago. I don't effing know. So it's like if someone asked me right now, what are you doing 2 weeks ago, Monday? Okay. I have not the slightest clue. So then with your logic then back, when you said maybe you weren't with your dad all day then, right. Detective goes, right. Yeah. Detective goes, okay. So right. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, could be possible. Kegan goes, yeah. I mean, the only time I ever really left my dad was when I really go and get weed. And would you search? I didn't have a car. Did you? Nowhere to go. Would it be normal for you to look up, see Sam at Grandma and Grandpa's house? No, because that's what you were doing on your phone at the time you said. That's fine. Detective said, I wasn't doing that. Then who was? That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you. It's not. So how do you know blank did it then? Because you don't remember what happened. All this pointing to him like more and more, like the more you keep saying, like if I'm not at my grandma and grandparents' house, I'm not with my dad, I wouldn't be with blank. Did I get effed up that day? I have no clue what I was doing. Thinks I was with a friend at school, detective. He's like one of your best friends. Well, is he not? I mean, he's a good friend, detective. How come you rattled off a list of your friends you previously known you admitted? Why would I? Yeah, he's pretty much like seeming like one of your best friends, if not your best friend. Yeah, I mean, he was a good friend. So you gave them a list of friends twice when they interviewed you previously, and you completely admitted that you didn't even mention his name. And even today, you still haven't mentioned his name. And you even asked me who he was because Kline goes, because there's a reason why you don't look up people in Indiana. No, tell me. I have no idea. Because he's a drug dealer, big time, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see the next one. So they're talking about the drug dealer. The cops aren't going to come over and raid your house for an ounce of weed. So he just gets 1 ounce. He gets it. He puts it on the table and goes, that's for Kegan. 1 ounce that. How I'm going to make money as a drug dealer. I'm going to sell 1 ounce to one particular. Did I say that? Person you said all he has is an ounce of weed. What I'm saying is a small-time drug dealer is a lot different than someone that's pushing pounds of weed. That's a big difference. Then why were you good friends with him? Okay, so they're talking about drug dealer here. Let's jump around. I think detective said, I think the more thing that I'm concerned about over a guy that you're meeting, I'm saying like I met the guy to talk to about weed. Okay, but what I'm more concerned about That is the boy. Did we just give you something from 2017 that you're able to remember just like that? Because Kegan Kline goes, because I know blank, he's my best friend, but yet you have nothing about a girl that was murdered. You remember? Yeah, because I didn't know her. Yeah, I don't. I don't spend years of my life with a person that got murdered. Yeah, I know, like, that is my good friend. Yeah, I know stuff about him. What do you mean? That's totally different. But then you just told us, well, I don't want to associate with him. Well, I don't think so. Kegan Kline, not at all. Not that I know of. Detective, what do you mean? You said all this was pointing towards blank. Anthony Schatz or Kegan Kline said, like, do you see how I'm on someone's country? Whatever you said, Country Club Road, someone's Wi-Fi. I've never been to anyone's house on Country Club Road ever. I don't even know that it's out there. I know those roads are crazy with Paw Pike. I literally have no clue. I don't know anyone. I don't know anything about the whole case. Like, yeah, it looks terrible, but I promise you, like, I know you guys are looking for a person, and it's not me. It's not me. Yes, you do, man. I swear to God, I don't. Yes, you do. I really don't. Yes, you do. I don't. Question. Detective. I can't wrap my head around why you're willing to put all of this on you. Why are you protecting somebody else? Anthony, who am I protecting? What are you talking about? I mean, you obviously said that you didn't kill them, right? Anthony, yeah. What the F? Yeah. Okay, of course. Okay. Anthony, Kegan, you think I know who killed them? Cop, absolutely. Kegan, oh my God. Cop, absolutely, because you know why I know that. Kegan, well, you're obviously terrible at your job. If you really honestly think that you're absolutely terrible at your job, I'm sorry about that. Do you know who killed those girls? Kegan, no. Detective, hang on. I'm not literally asking you right now. Do you know for sure who killed those girls? No? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. You did say no both times in your polygraph guess. And guess what? That was deception. Kline, hey, a lot of people fail lie detectors. What are you talking about? Why do you think they can't use? Not those in court, not there. There's a reason that. Double homicide. You can't a polygraph. Detective inaudible. Kegan in court because people fail like me who have anxiety problems that are freaking out. But those people that fail other cases or whatever you're referencing weren't talking to the victim of the crime that day, weren't grooming them, weren't sending them pictures to the victim, didn't say it was bad that I'm super into you. I just don't understand why you're protecting the person. I mean, was it as simple that she just say, hey, I'm going to the High Bridge and you told somebody? Kegan, I literally have no clue about anything. Detective, but yet you were. Kegan, you can come in here, literally talk for 24 straight hours. I don't know anything about that. But yet you remember 110% that you had a conversation with a guy in Vegas on 223, because I'm supposed to make thousands of dollars. Yes. Let's make sure this is still on. Yep, he really is a groomer. Okay. Why not meet? Okay. So then the detective, basically, they're just going back and forth. I talked to him. Kegan goes, he said, why did you bring up the guy that I met and spoke to? I couldn't find it. The guy, you don't associate. That's it yourself. Not to the cops, of course not. Why would I associate? So why blow blank off? Because I couldn't get it. I met up with the guy that the only guy I could find met him on Craigslist. Why not meet and tell him that? Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't have had fun. Okay, so we're going to go through this a little more because they're going back and forth. Here's the detective. I'm not talking about weed anymore. Kegan, I know, but I'm saying, like, that's what I'm saying. Who are you afraid to tell that was using the Anthony Schatz account? Kegan, nobody. I told you that's the only other person that could have had my phone. That's literally it. Detective, not in Vegas. Okay, he's not talking to Liberty. I don't remember talking. So who was? To them? Okay, then who was? I don't know. Obviously, it was me, but I don't remember it. You know what I mean? I just don't remember talking to him. We had this case a while back, and this guy had this freaking little kid was in the bathroom. overflowed the toilet. So he yells for help, and the dad gets pissed off, comes at the kid, and the mom interviews. The dad punches the mother. He runs away. He chases her down the hill. He bites her in the stomach, runs back inside, slams the kid's head in the toilet, fractures his orbital socket, puts him upside down, and starts dunking his head in the toilet, overflowed. Anthony says, Jesus Christ. Now, what do you think about that guy? He should get hung right now. He should be killed. So that guy should get killed? Yeah, 1,000%. What do you think that person is capable of? What if that person capable of? Yeah. Here's a detective. Yeah. What would you think a person like that is capable of? Probably anything, because he killed some kid. He didn't kill the kid. The kid lived. Oh, shit. Well, I mean, he obviously tried to kill the kid, Kegan said. Step out for a second. I'll be right back. Do you have enough water? Need anything? I appreciate it. Okay, so they take a little break here. Kegan, here they go. Look, Kegan, no, will you please listen to me for a second? I know how bad this looks. I know, okay, all right. Hard for me to listen because people lie to you every single day. Well, it's not only just people. I sit here and, I hear you say that. I'm truly hearing you say that. Okay. And my gosh, it's familiar because you said the same thing to investigators when you talked about it before. And I'm not talking about Delphi stuff. I'm talking about the CSAM and the solicitation. You talked to underage girls. You said the same thing to them before you admitted to it. So that's why it's hard for me to believe, because I hear what you're saying. And I see the same thing when I know for a fact you were lying, because you eventually told the truth. This is what you're doing now. Detective. And that's why it's hard to believe. And then, like Deputy Clinton said, you have this whole stack. And I mean, you can argue like a small town thing again, obviously. You can argue that you are a concerned citizen, that this happened in your backyard. You can argue for sure. But when you throw into it that you literally talked to her, I get right before, and you say that she was killed. I understand. I get it. Then how it looks, trust me, Kegan said, the detective said, that you tell investigators that you only talked to her once and blocked her. That's what I remember. You said, but what I'm saying in my memory and was happened. So why do you have an altered memory? Detective says, I feel that you feel somewhat responsible. For what? For them dying. Why would I feel responsible for something I know nothing about? What do you mean? You don't? I mean, when you tell me I know nothing about this, right? That doesn't make sense because you searched it, you researched it. Oh my God, every single person that like Google searched about them dying is a suspect. But those people don't tell me I know nothing about this case. I don't know anything about this case. I never talked to the girl that died. Okay, so basically he's really pinning it on him. And he thinks there's somebody else, and that Kegan Kline is taking the fall for this. Basically in a nutshell here. Yeah, I really think it's his dad. I think it's his dad. He's covering for his dad. Okay. So you're working on the case, okay, and you're an investigator, and you see the video camera of this guy walking. He robs the place and shoots somebody and kills him, okay, and then you need to talk to him, and he goes, I don't remember what to do. So he's basically giving him all different scenarios. Let's see further down. Okay, the detective, right before she died, and we have witness statements that talk to Anthony Schatz that said they were talking about meeting up, even to the point so far that she said Anthony told her when they said, oh my God, what happened? Hey, I was supposed to meet her, but she didn't show up. That's evidence. I don't think I've ever said that. Man, I'm not. I don't. Again, that goes back to the I don't remember thing. The guy at the gas station said that, but that's, I think you're saying, okay, detective. And so if you don't remember that, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And I'm not saying that you did it, but we need to know why did it happen. Person right now you're telling me had access to the Anthony Schatz account was you, and you're the only person that used your phone for the Anthony Schatz account. Yeah, that doesn't mean I killed two people. I didn't say that. But you sure did hear, or you sure, I'm sorry, I didn't say that. But you did sure tell her that you were supposed to meet her, and she didn't show up because there's evidence That's true fact evidence. Okay. So let's just explain, let's just focus on that 1 minute detail, that conversation that happened, that went back and forth. And I'll refresh your memory and your mind, where the girl contacted Anthony Schatz and said, "Did you hear what happened at Liberty?" And Anthony Schatz responded, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then she goes and tells him what happened. And then Anthony Schatz says, "I was supposed to meet the girl, but she never showed up. So let's focus on one conversation, evidence we know is true. And it doesn't matter if you remember or not." Kegan goes, "Right. But who then would have access? Who would have said that then if it wasn't you? Who supposedly is the one who had access?" Kegan goes, "Nobody." "Who would have had?" But that's not what we know. That's not. I'm saying back and forth. Detective, so why would you say I was going to meet with her, but she never showed up? What would make you say that? Why would I ever go meet with someone? I don't know. Tell me exactly. I wouldn't. Okay, so they're going back and forth. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, but I will be right back, okay? Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I do think Kegan Kline lured them. Okay, so we're going through some of these pages here. But then again, we have to go back to the one narrow scope of conversation we're looking at. Why would you say that to another person? Why would you say, as Anthony Schatz, I was going to meet the girl and she didn't show up? I don't know. You know, even before that, we've witnessed statements that Liberty was looking at meeting Anthony Schatz. So again, that's another piece where we're making this bigger now and looking at this. Now we have multiple people saying that. Why would Anthony Schatz do that? I don't know. I really have no clue. Like I said, I don't remember talking to her, so I don't know. Do you see where this needs to be cleared up? Yeah, trust me, I see where it needs to be cleared up. Well, this person did it, as in sending those messages. I'm talking about the person that killed them. Okay, well, I cleared it up. I told you for the past 30 minutes. I've told you I'm not lying. I don't know anyone who did this. You're just saying you don't know anybody, but I don't know anything about that. What I'm telling you is we need to clear up the statement of Anthony Schatz. We need to do this because we can. I said it 3 times. I remember what I'm saying. Oops. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Okay. So basically, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Okay, sorry, I'm skipping some pages here because we're at the very end. So this is detective. So right after, and I'm talking minutes that you're searching. Police continue to pursue leads in Delphi for the girl's murder. Girls are missing after posting Snapchat messages, articles. All I mean that girls are missing after posting Snapchat messages and articles. You search. Can you trace IP from social media? So you're thinking about the Delphi investigation. Shots that I probably was constantly. A few minutes later, you were searching about internet servers. You were randomly reading all these articles I'm in about Delphi. I obviously was like, I talked to a friend and stuff. That's why I did it. But again, you didn't just talk to that person. I know you talked to her, but I don't remember me saying anything. You told investigators you did. Why would you? I don't remember what I told them, but you do see how you're picking and choosing things you remember. No, I wish you would see it from my point of view. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, you sat here and said that the woman that interviewed with you was very motherly. You remembered. I do remember. Very motherly. Her being really nice. You remembered that she told you you need to stop and you need to remember. You told her you have a problem. So you remember all these things, but you just sit here and tell me I don't remember any of it. Oh, I didn't say that. The interview, she was part of the interview. Okay. She's the one. So the other guy is screaming at me the whole time, trying to be the good cop, bad cop. He did not scream at you at the interview. Okay, maybe not scream, but you know what I mean. When you're interviewed in the bus and everything, like no one got in your face. I'm not talking about that. I am. I'm talking about in here. Okay, I am. Okay, well, I'm not. I don't even remember what I said to them. But I'm talking about in here, said Kegan. I remember everything I told them. You're contradicting yourself, the detective said. I remember them showing me the pictures. Uh-huh. That's what I remember. And you remember her. Uh-huh. Exactly. So you're picking and choosing on what you remember. I'll take a DNA. I'll do whatever. That's what I remember saying. I'm going to step out. I mean, I seriously need you to stop picking and choosing your memory. You can say that you're not, but you are. I wasn't born yesterday. Okay, I'm not. I'm telling you, you are. I'm really not. Okay, they're playing ping pong. They're going back and forth. Okay, when you're being present for these facts, we have you telling me that you don't remember, that you make them disappear, but now you do remember. So as we go a little bit deeper, okay, if you're going to tell me that this is the very end. Okay, and when you're being presented with these facts that we have, and you're telling me that I don't remember, and that doesn't make them disappear, okay? Okay, I get that, but I can't rethink. I can't remember something. Try, because it's important. Okay. If you're going to tell me that the double homicide of these girls are not important, and when did I say that? You don't want to remember it. Is it not worth remembering? I told her everything I remembered. Okay. You need to sit here and you need to start remembering more, because it's important. All right. The Detective Vito leaves the interview room. All right, brother. Looks like road guy took the comfortable cuffs off, so I got 2 pairs for you. Okay. If you unfortunately go to trial and this is all found guilty or whatever, you'll probably get 40 plus years. It'd be your last trip outside because you won't bond out. Is there any way I could get them? I got put in like, I'm going to double lock them. So he's talking about cuffs. Okay. He's talking about cuffs here. And then he gives them, okay, then just stand there for me. Just know that you're going to do a long prison sentence if you don't speak up on what happened. We may not have all the facts, but if you're holding this, we're going to use this against you in your child CSAM crime. Okay. Yep. Okay. I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. End of statement. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for watching this. I'm not sure. I keep messaging Bob Mata. I haven't heard back. Thank you for following this. I find it very suspect that Kegan Kline is not admitting to who was using his phone and how he lured the girls there. So I think in retaliation for all his heinous other CSAM stuff, they threw the book at him. I will keep you guys posted. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Everybody have a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you guys later. I'm going to try to reach out to Bob Mata again. He may or may not be on. I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.